Republicans and Democrats met with President Trump today at the White House to discuss tax reform. The president said a comprehensive and detailed report will be released tomorrow. It plans to cut taxes for the middle class and lower tax rates for businesses. Joining us now is Representative Diane Black, a Republican from Tennessee. Thank you for joining us.
Good to be with you.
You serve on the Ways and Means Committee, and some of that members of that committee came to the White House today to discuss tax reform. Can you give us an update? Why did they go?
I'm not really sure because I wasn't invited, but I imagine it is just to continue to have dialogue with the White House to be sure that we're going in the same direction. And that's very important because we want to make sure we're unified with where we're going. We don't want to get too far down the road and then find out that we're going in opposite directions. So there's been a lot of dialogue between the White House and our Ways and Means Committee.
Tomorrow, President Trump is headed to Indiana to sell this tax reform plan right to the American people. What do you say to critics who say that the tax cuts proposed benefit the rich?
I think they're going to see a different plan than what they're anticipating, and we really have made sure that within our Ways and Means Committee that we are addressing the middle class because we feel like those are the ones that are generally hit the hardest, and we want to be sure that we allow the middle class, first of all, to have a simpler tax code that will make it much easier where they don't have to pay money to have their tax reforms done, but we'll put more money back in their pockets. Times are tough, and we want them to have more money for things that they need within their home, the essentials, and then maybe even some fun things as well.
I know that the plan, at least plan that we have seen, goes from 7 tax brackets to just 3. Is that what you're talking about in terms of simplification?
We are. We're talking about it being simplified, however, far enough that when we double the standard deduction, that many of those families that are currently collecting all those receipts and keeping all their records will not have to do that because the doubling of the standard deductions will allow them to be able to fill out their tax reform on a single front and back of a postcard.
Well, I am one who would welcome that. You know, the health care bill is on the brink of dying. Would you consider tacking it on to a tax reform bill?
Well, it's been really just very difficult to get the Senate to get to any place. I don't know whether there would be an opportunity to be able to do that. But you know what? There's always a possibility. I will say that even if the Senate doesn't get to where they need to be in order to be able to give us something back so we can conference on this, there has been a new effort within our own House of being able to break the bill down into several different pieces, and rather than maybe just one big bill, to be able to move some things along to give some relief to the American people on the health care issue, doing it segment by segment rather than in one big bill.
Thank you so much for joining us. Representative Diane Black from Tennessee.
Thank you for having me.